Hello and welcome to another episode of Kool KordZ. You've seen the video on the first 10 steps to playing fast over Secret Love. This is going to try and explain the next 10 steps. And then maybe a little demonstration at the end with the iReal book app. So in this particular goal, I'm trying to play Secret Love in D flat. The first thing we do before we actually play at 360 BPM is play the steps that I have mentioned. So the first one is thirds. So that could be, I want to try and work on my bumblebee, if that makes any sense. There's a singing exercise kind of doing the thirds where you have to go bumblebee, 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 bumblebee. It's a singing exercise that actually helps your B sound as much as other things. But in piano, you got this nice thirds. So practice that, maybe in thirds as well. Over the key, and if the chord changes, then we might have to change the mode as well. Then in the bridge, we go to A flat. Also, I like to just play the Arpeggios thirds. So any arpeggiation. Once I had a secret love that went into the heart of me. Now that I have a secret love that's so damn patient to be free. So the first step, the 11th step, is the thirds, arpeggio. Then I took that and maybe went one step further with the Claire Fisher mirroring. So if we're in D flat, we for all the chords. So if you've got E flat minor, you want to play all positions, two hands, maybe different, and then just a straight 7, but in different positions, maybe. If you've got this kind of altered chord over A flat, then you want to try and mirror it as well. So that's kind of Claire Fisher mirroring for you, just trying to get around those. The interesting thing about mirroring is you've got always, well, you get these different clashing intervals. So third, third, semitone, third again. So you've got this, you've got third, third, semitone, third, you know. Beautiful. Bridge, Claire Fisher. Diminished is interesting to mirror because it always remains the same. Thirds, intervals. Da 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 da, or 13. Da 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 And then for for step number 13, I like to do the thirds in scales. So a bit like this Chopin etude that sort of goes something like that. I haven't played it for years. So it's the thumb starts a group of 4. So in this case, you'd go. So I'm practicing my thirds like this in the scale, or 4 to the 1. Even accent on the offbeat. 1, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So in this step number 13, I'll be like, once I had a secret love, diatonic that made something like that. Number 14, D flat 7, flat 9 dominant. So working with the theory of Barry Harris. It's Star Wars, isn't it? The theory of dominance. So working with the diminished scale, we get this kind of flat 9 in D flat. I'm trying to work with that for every chord, perhaps. So, once I had a secret love. So, theory of dominance plus diminished scales. So it's a lot to unpack for this 14th step, but I think it really opens up some pathways. Number 15. Oh, okay, we do this sort of the same thing. Diminished scale, family of dominants there. Trying to work with those flat 7s as well, like the other stage, but really maybe focusing more on the diminished scale in step 15. Really keeping it to the diminished scale. No arpeggios. So the interchanging between the different scales, maybe practice diminished scale. From the highest hill, even told a golden daffodil. An open door, and I'm playing diminished scales. Oh, no more. Okay, this is some fun little stuff. I mean, honestly, I just did this at the spur of the moment. You can come up with your own steps. I just found it really kind of fun to experiment with different things and not get frustrated while you practice, because you're just experimenting with different things as you go along. Number 16, out major. So if we're in once I had D flat, I'm actually going to think out major. And if I actually end up playing the major of the scale, that's bad in this step. I really want to try and experiment with different major scales. Trying to experiment. It's funny when the C, all the white notes clash. I love that. Pretty self-explanatory. Out pentatonic major. Now you've heard me do pentatonic over sus chords, so that's so what I might do here is play the sus in D flat, our home key, and then play B major pentatonic. But in this step, we've already covered that in number 10. So in this step, in 17, we're going to actually try and do that with the other in different keys. Quickly moving, trying to move between different pentatonics. Number 18, out sus4, Walter. Okay, you've seen me do Walter, Bishop, Junior, 4th. It's been a while since I've really covered it again. I did a lot of practice on it last year. Love Walter, Bishop, Junior. I just think the idea of these consecutive fourths really changed my idea of approach to how far I am from other notes. In this case, 4. So I don't need to do this. It's all with an octave. It's all with to really reach for things that are within your grasp, as opposed to reaching for things out of your grasp. Or I mean, a lot of the great players, it's there. It's already there. They make it sound easy. They're not reaching all the time. You can do that in contrary motion. Different groupings: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 12. You know, all the different groupings. Sus chord versus the broken sus. Sounds over the iReal book. Of course, play with a band if you can as well. But I love the iReal book. A lot of people say it's the iReal Book Pro. A lot of people say, oh, you know, you should be playing with a band. Yeah, I should be playing with a band, but it's the same reason you go see a psychologist. You don't want to bore your friends with this stuff. You know, you want to be fresh and natural when you come and play with people. You don't want to play 30 rounds of experimenting with other people. Other people aren't your slave. You know, they're not going to just sit there while you do 30 choruses of all this different stuff. So I actually like it for that reason. You know, yes, you should be playing with bands as well, but I like to have this stuff down before I go to play with a band. Number 19, Bebop Barry. Okay, so I'll try and play some Barry scales over this. If you weren't here before, 2/5, I played the 5 scale. A flat with the passing note G. Even while I'm on to cover the whole 2/5. Back to the major. Love the bridge, you know, some Barry in the bridge. Barry in the bridge. Bebop Barry in the bridge. So practice some Barry. We've already covered that. So once you've done the 19, once you've just had to familiarize yourself with the in-Barry, that was number 9. We're actually going to try and do some out Barry. So we're going to try and do some dominant, you know, and in other keys and see how it goes. It gives you some options. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I really like the idea of experimenting and not having rules when I play. Really coming up with some different things. Okay, number 20, last step, out contrary. So contrary motion is one of those things that I think really only someone like a Lenny or, well, in his solo concerts, yes, Jarrett, also. But Meldau is a really great example of someone who can really pull off some of this contrary motion stuff when anything. So what we've just covered then, so you're thinking major, perhaps mirroring. And And we're doing the same thing, contrary motion. Some contrary motion Barry is really nice, and this as well. Or, you know, thirds. Also out major, a pet, you know, whatever. All of the above things that we've talked about, I'd like to see in contrary motion. Whatever, but you've got to work in contrary motion, and that's really difficult, I find, because we're working with different, same fingers generally, but different notes. Different notes. 2 notes at a time is difficult. Bridge. Dun, 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 da, 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 contrary motion, Walter Bishop Jr. Important always to keep the song in my head even when I'm playing out, because it really keeps everything kind of together. Down I had a secret love that won't seem once I had a secret love. Okay, so they're the 10 steps for this video. I'm going to try and do them now with the iReal Pro app. Thanks for watching, and here goes.